Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It is my honor to participate in the holy initiative Learn Gita, Live in Gita. And for that, I sincerely thank Shastriji for inviting me. I will say a few words about the context of the Gita, the context which has given humanity the highest spirituality at the toughest time in life. The Bhagavad Gita is a spiritual, philosophical, intellectual and practical Vedic scriptures which has been enlightening people throughout the world for thousands of years. The context of the Gita is battlefield where a fierce battle was about to start between Pandavas and Kauravas who belong to the same family tree. Just before the start of the war, Arjuna, the most acclaimed warrior of that era from Pandava's side, refused to take part in that war. His conscience prohibited him from destroying his own kin. Krishna was the charioteer in that battle. Arjuna surrendered to Krishna as disciple and requested for guidance. The Gita, the saying of Lord, then started. 18 chapters of the Gita may be viewed as 18 steps of a staircase that took Arjuna from the state of complete dejection to a state of self-realization. Since most of the people view war as an act of distraction, it is often asked whether a spiritual discourse such as the Gita should have emanated from the warfield. A serene and more harmonious time in the history could have been more suited for the birth of the Gita. The question came to my mind also. My cognition has given me an answer and I am convinced with it. The objective of this session is to describe this context. Let me present my perspective about the context. In my view, there are three types of war as described below: Tamasic war, Rajasic war and Sattvic war. Tamasic wars are primarily driven by the ruthless aggression of powerful groups on comparatively weaker sections to impose their perceived supremacy of their culture, belief, etc. on the weaker sections. Such aggressive groups, just by virtue of their power, want to establish their supremacy, even mercilessly killing thousands of innocents. This is happening in the humanity for thousands of years and even now. Rajasic wars. Rajasic wars are primarily driven to resolve a conflict between more or less equally powerful groups. Such conflicts mostly arise due to possession of resources, that's land, water, etc. The loser group has to accept post-war terms and the conditions put by the winner group, and normally the war ends there. Now Sattvic war. Sattvic war is the war that takes place to keep the overall system in tune with its purpose and goal. Let me give an example of our human body. Our body consists of trillions of cells. Cells inside the human body are constantly fighting to keep the body away from harmful elements like virus, bacteria, etc. Our cells are continually carrying out Sattvic wars inside our body to protect us. The same is true for human civilization also. As the civilization progresses, time and again situations arise when human values take a back seat. People driven by self-centricity, greed for power and wealth, and establish ruthless supremacy at the cost of innocent lives. Such acts rip apart the society and become malignant in nature. It becomes essential that drastic measures be taken to prevent the potential catastrophe. Sattvic war is the essential surgery that saves the society from further decay and gives it a new life. The Kurukshetra war was a Sattvic war for establishing righteousness in the society by eliminating tamasic forces. Sri Krishna, the epitome of extreme wisdom, and Arjuna, the highest form of extreme power, joined hands to perform the most critical surgery for the humanity. They removed the malice through this Dharma Yuddha to establish a unified country, then known as Bharata. Before the commencement of the war, Arjuna got torn apart in his internal conflict. On the one hand, he had the option of not engaging in this hideous crime of killing family members, and on the other hand, his duty towards the society urged him to take part in the act, an act that would need the death of possibly all the attachments he had towards his family. This conflict between moral values and emotional attachment was probably the toughest conflict the world has ever seen. It was powerful enough to tear apart even the strongest warrior of that era. It is unimaginable to think of a conflict that is as devastating as this. Krishna, the wisdom, enlightened Arjuna with his views through this discourse based on duty, knowledge and devotion, but left the decision on Arjuna whether to take part in that war or to withdraw. Arjuna got enlightened and decided to take part in that war for a greater cause at the cost of his near and dear ones. The hardest internal conflict of the most powerful warrior at the highest crucial moment needed the guidance from the wisest person for its resolution. In my view, the perfect context for this fascinating discourse, the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Hari Om.